I saw a recipe for a cake that involved beef. Hello and welcome to Outside the Box, where we explore what's happening online and why it matters. I'm Kim Horcher.
My name's Ajay Patel, and if you needed an answer to your question 10 years ago, you would often use a search engine. Now people are turning to tools like social media or different AI bots. So Kim, when was the last time you used a search engine to answer your question?
Today, I use them all the time.
Really? As your primary source?
I mean, that's where I find my primary sources for the information.
Personally, I'm someone that uses AI tools to get the answers to my questions. And that juxtaposition is what we're talking about today. So Kim, why do you feel like people lean towards search engines over AI or AI over search engines?
Well, I know the answer for AI, which is that it's a direct answer and it's fast and you only have one thing to look at. So you don't have to wade through a bunch. But that's my problem with it, because I don't want the quickest, easiest answer. I want to be able to form my own ideas based on several different sources that will pop up.
100% with you on the restaurant side of things. You know, if I'm going to Portland and I want to know what restaurants are good, I'm oftentimes going to TikTok and typing, okay, Portland food spots, and then seeing, you know, probably the most popular content creators come on there. And a lot of people that just have one popular TikTok, and it's like, okay, you know, I feel like I can trust this, versus maybe Google reviews where it might be a little bit, you know, inflated.
Yeah, because, you know, you do have people paying AdSense. You have different SEO games being, you know, utilized well, truly.
Yeah.
But is that in my best interest as someone who likes to eat food?
I wonder if there's just this level of trust behind seeing someone's face, right? This person said this.
And if it's bad, it's on them.
Right? Exactly. and even going back to your point where you like to, you know, go through some, if you're doing something professionally and you go through some Google articles, I'm guessing from your experience, you often know like, okay, this person's credible or this site is credible, and, you know, I shouldn't listen to this and not that.
I've truly seen some wrong information on ChatGPT,
Sure.
to be specific. And I've been really shy about that, about finding information from that as a primary source. Are you kidding me? That's like as bad as using Wikipedia for your primary source.
Oh, then I have a stat for you. Are you ready? So from an
You brought
article.
numbers to annoy me.
I come with all the numbers. Do not worry. So from an article on Forbes, there was a sentiment around broader trends confirmed the shift. 77% of US ChatGPT users report using it as their primary search tool. And a Gartner forecast projects 30% of online searches will be handled by AI assistants by 2026. How close do you feel like we're getting to that 30%?
I mean, I think we are on that way. It still bums me out.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, one of my major issues, and this is not related to me being liable for misinformation at work, but it's that when you use ChatGPT, you have an answer. And it's great. You have an answer. It's fast. That's what you wanted. But is it the best answer, or is it just the easiest answer?
Yeah.
I think when you rely on, you know, ChatGPT or similar AI chatbots,
Yeah.
you cut out a lot of your own critical thinking and your own ability to form original ideas and thought, and just accept what is fastest and easiest and most convenient. And in some cases, fine. That's fine. But if it's about big ideas that shape your worldview, about things you might do for work, about conversations you might have, I don't think it's a good idea. I think you need to keep that brain muscle alive. And by accepting the fastest answer, you're not doing that. And it's scary to me.
I agree. Now, allow me to zag. I use ChatGPT for everything.
AJ.
I'm telling you, everything. And, you know, so I was thinking about, you know, your professional job versus mine, and you have a much more people-facing job where what you're producing, people are going to consume and hope that there is a level of credibility, right? This person that's gathering all these facts, it's presented as factual. For me personally, a lot of the things have to do with, let's say like code, right? Before I used to just Google like, okay, how do I use this type of statement? Or how do I, you know, pull something using this? And that became such a burden because I would have to go to some article and then I would have to go to some YouTube video of like Khan Academy. Remember those guys? Never. So I would just I would consume all this content to finally get to an answer. See, yeah. And now there's actually like a workplace official AI tool. So then, it's vetted,
For your
data's not
workplace?
getting, yeah.
I see.
And I've been using that on a daily. Now I agree with you on the critical thinking piece, because I often find myself thinking like, I can feel it, right? Where you're like, oh man, I'm starting to think
It's
now.
easy.
And then I'm just like, okay, I'm going to use this. And so even though I feel like I'm taking that away, I value the speed that it provides. So that's been my kind of like double-edged sword, where it's like, okay, I understand that I'm taking a little bit of critical thinking away, but now with this speed, I can maybe think about the next thing a little bit more than what I was previously spending more time on. We talked in a previous episode about like the AI summary that now pops up. Oftentimes I find that a little bit misleading. Before I used to kind of like clicking on a couple links.
Do you
and
just
seeing
not
okay.
like that chatbot, or what is it?
No. It's I think it all just comes down to like occurrences, right? How many times have I done something and been like, okay, yeah, that was helpful, or read it and been like, damn, that didn't work out. Like recently, I made some chocolate chip cookies.
Okay.
ChatGPT gave me a recipe that had 1 extra cup of water. So now I had this dough that was just all mushy and stuff, and it's like, okay, why did it get this wrong?
It gets recipes wrong all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
I saw a recipe for a cake that involved beef.
What?
Yeah. It doesn't know.
Nah, no chance. See,
Yeah,
now
I'll send
guys,
it to you
don't
after
believe
this.
that. Don't believe
No,
that. Don't
and the
believe that.
picture was a picture of spaghetti, which is like, what do you think cake is?
So going back to that, where it's like, it just comes down to occurrences, right? Now that I know, okay, it messed up this recipe, I'm going to be a little bit less likely to trust it with the next recipe. And so I think there's that piece to it with just like this level of credibility. With Google, oftentimes when I go to the site and I search something, and the first 3 things I see have nothing to do with, they might be in the same category, right? Let's say I'm looking for movers, and next to those 3 listings, I see ad. I already get this feeling of like, all right, like the people that are just paying are getting my attention first.
But do you think ChatGPT is an altruistic device?
To some extent.
I don't.
Some pieces where it can scrape through all of these articles and then put them side by side. Whereas before I would have to click on each one and spend that time creating like a landscape of like, okay, which one should I trust? Which one maybe has the best pricing? And so just that speed of putting people next to each other, which is all factual. They're not creating facts, right? They're scraping these articles and then putting it in front of you.
Perhaps out of context, though. Perhaps incorrectly.
I guess I just haven't ran into that scenario yet. So I still have this level of trust. I said, allow me to zag.
I'm worried. I just think yes, I understand convenience is good. I'm not always going to use the hardest method for every question,
Mm-hmm.
but for things that matter to me, like something I'm working on or a topic I truly care about, I don't want the aggregate answer or the aggregate opinion. I want to read. I want to figure it out. I think there is no substitute for human experience and ingenuity, and just scraping the average of it all lends to oftentimes a very bland product, very bland idea, maybe incorrect even. And to me, I don't want that on me. I don't want to take responsibility for that.
So for Gen Z, why do you feel like they're gravitating more towards like TikTok and Reddit to get their information?
Because it's more, well, we were talking about this before, which is like, if I want a hyper-local answer,
Mm-hmm.
or if I want a user-generated answer, that's where I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see what this person did at this restaurant. What did they order? Did they like it? What was the texture like? What was their experience? And that's not really something you can capture by just using, a standard Google search. You might get the restaurant's website, which sure, you could use that. But maybe I don't want that. I want a grassroots answer for some things, but
Right.
I want a verifiable answer for other things.
Okay, if you're looking for a restaurant, right?
Mhm.
Or maybe something about a town, do you go to Reddit and just type in the town name?
Sometimes I do.
Okay.
I follow a subreddit called Food Los Angeles.
Okay.
And if they're all like really into this new place and they're saying, oh, I went there, I had the lasagna, it was so good, the owner is nice, I'll think more of that restaurant.
That community still feels like, in my mind, like a true version of community. Because on TikTok, people are, of course, becoming influencers. You're getting paid to go eat at whatever restaurant and give X review. So sometimes there's still like a level of trust that I don't have, even though it's from.
There's less to gain for the user.
Are you sure?
In Reddit?
Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry.
There's less for
I thought
them
you
to
were
gain.
right.
Like, you don't really become a Reddit influencer. I bet there are tons of bots on Reddit.
Okay.
And I bet there are, fake shill accounts aplenty. But it does give the appearance of being more neutral.
Do you think that's something that is safe? Like, do you think
You
it'll
should
eventually be to this point where like influencers are now all over Reddit?
I don't know if anything is safe. I mean, it's my nature
Right.
to want to question things. So I think it's always a situation where you should exercise your best judgment, and you should keep your judgment skills high by utilizing critical thinking. I think when social apps become the new de facto search engine, there are some dangers there that maybe it's harder to remember because you're entertained and you're engaged with what's going on. But oftentimes there is misinformation, echo chambers, potentially harmful content, and of course, extensive data collection.
Right now, it feels like to me like almost like the space race, where you see companies just throwing billions of dollars at these things.
Yeah.
So, for example, like Meta's recruiting all these AI engineers from ChatGPT for like $100 million sign-on bonus, and so everyone's just in this race, whether it's going to be Google to get there first, Meta to get there first, maybe a company in China to get there first. So it does feel like this race of like who's going to get to, I don't know what it is, right? Whether it's like Jarvis is walking around now and we have some type of like artificial intelligence person, we start getting to the
You
Will
want
Smith
someone
iRobot thing.
you want the singularity.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, I don't want that. I don't want
Oh,
that.
you don't
I
want the
don't want that.
singularity.
But I think that's what is like almost getting raced towards. Because if the product ended at what it was at currently, I would be pleased with it. Where it's like, okay, I can use this. I find value in it, so then I'm good with it. But I do think as more and more people, right? We talked a little bit about the percentages, but as that gets higher, there's going to enter this field of like, okay, well, if I'm Meta, I want to push a certain agenda, right? I want to push you to maybe a Facebook article instead of this article.
Maybe this is the nature of software and technology in that we reach a point where it is its natural endpoint and we move on to the next thing. I mean, I talked about SEO earlier, but I've seen articles about GEO, which is generative AI engine optimization, where you can work to game what these generative AI chatbots are picking and choosing for their top answers. So there's no true pure answer to anything. And I think that's just something we have to reckon with. I mean, we all probably know someone or are related to someone who fell into an echo chamber hole and is deeply into that and only that. And it's scary and weird. I just don't want more of that.
Before I ask the next question, I do want to, for myself and the audience, what is an echo chamber hole?
For an example, you can go on YouTube and you could watch a pretty innocuous video. But then there's a suggested video after, and it takes you down these different YouTubers, and this example, it's YouTube. Yeah. These different people's videos that may or may not be based on actual fact or information. And you start to internalize this and you start to believe that this is my new way of thinking now. And then that is how sometimes dangerous things happen when people really hold themselves into just one point of view, whether it's true or not, and that becomes your voice.
To be a little bit on the brighter side, going back to kind of like the generational usage of Google AI and stuff, we didn't even talk about the idea of that, like when it is a video content, right? Video content of all these things, whether it's TikTok, YouTube Shorts, YouTube videos in general, that has also taken this like new level of attention where I want to consume something that I can see versus, okay, I'm reading like a Yelp review on Google or something.
Sure.
So have you found yourself wanting to consume more like visual aid, whether it's social media, ChatGPT, whatever it is?
No, but I make visual stuff, so I see enough of it.
So I guess like maybe in your job or day to day, have you kind of made that like a point of focus? Like, okay, I know the masses are gravitating more towards this visual platform.
I mean, it's an undeniable trend that, look at podcasts. Look at this. We're a video podcast.
We're on a video right now, yeah.
And, it's that is where podcasts are going. I don't want to be in a position where I'm just holden to just an old-fashioned only way of thinking. Right. I do like to be aware of what's going on how things are shaping, what people are doing, trends. And you don't want to cut yourself off from everything. You should be aware of what's going on, even if you don't agree with it.
If you are currently using ChatGPT, the only thing I recommend is just keep a layer of privacy to yourself, and then you can always just continuously remember to archive your data, wipe it clean, as you know, and that's I think the best level of kind of effort you can put into it to protecting your data and privacy if you're using it regularly. Other than that, then it's just like you said, use your best judgment.
Don't let your brain get slow and dull. That is always my advice.
For the audience, are you still using a search engine for your questions, or are you using an AI or social media tool? Let us know in the comments.
Subscribe to the channel and be sure to download Firefox because you know it's the best. We'll see you next time.